What's up guys? Today I'm going to be showing you behind the scenes of how much some of the top Airbnb hosts in Hawaii actually make. And I'm telling you right now, the numbers are going to blow your mind. It is crazy to think how much some people are making on single properties in Hawaii just by listing them on sites like Airbnb and VRBO. In addition to that, we're also going to do a full breakdown of a property in Hawaii that is currently on the market right now to see what the return on investment would be like if you were to purchase one of these properties. So we're going to look at a specific property that's on the market right now in Hawaii. We're going to look at how much it would potentially make as a short-term rental, and we're going to run some quick numbers to see what the return on investment would ultimately look like. So if you're interested in knowing that, and you're interested in knowing how much Airbnb hosts in Hawaii actually make, then stay tuned for this video. Let's jump right in. So this is a tool that I like to use. It's called AirDNA, and it's a really great tool for analyzing different properties, analyzing different areas. And this is a specific market called Kailua Kona in Hawaii. And this is a list of the top properties in that area. Now, if we look at this, you'll see that the number one top property in this area, the revenue is $1.2 million over the last 365 days. Over last year, that's right. This property made $1.2 million in revenue. Now, the second runner-up only made a measly $907,000. So, didn't even hit the $1 million mark in a single year. So I know, nothing too impressive there, but let's actually take a look here. You can see there are a whole bunch of properties in around the $750,000 and up range. And then as you go further down the list, you get closer to $500,000. Just think about that. In most areas, you can buy several homes for that amount of money. And in 1 year, these homes are bringing in that amount of money. That's just crazy. I've seen properties bring in $100,000, $200,000 a year. That's really normal, honestly, nowadays. Not to say that all small properties or anything like that and all markets would do that, but $100,000, $200,000 a year, that's relatively common. But I think this is probably the first time I've actually seen a market where one of the top properties cracks $1 million a year. That's rare. That is just absolutely insane. And for there to be a whole handful of them that are over $750,000 in revenue, it doesn't necessarily surprise me because it's Hawaii and everything is crazy expensive there. Everything is just insane and it's a really established short-term rental market. But still, to think that a single property could generate $1.2 million in revenue in a year is absolute insanity. I couldn't even imagine the level of service they're providing to guests when they're charging $3,600 a night. That to me is just absolutely crazy. So let's take a look at the actual listing. This is that one that's generating $1.2 million. Grand Balinese entrance here. Yeah, not bad. I mean, it's a pretty freaking gorgeous property. I want to know, this wood. It's just amazing. Yeah, designed in an open floor plan, make it perfect for entertaining. Yeah, this place is stunning. And look at these views. The walls just open right up. You're on your private garden oasis that overlooks the ocean. Yeah, this is absolutely stunning. I'd be so curious to know how much this property would actually go for. I bet it wouldn't go for enough that it would make it outrageous. I'm sure it would go for an outrageous amount of money, don't get me wrong, but I think that if you actually ran the numbers on this particular property, buying it and having it rent for a $1.2 million a year, I think the owner's doing pretty darn well. Yeah, this is a beautiful, beautiful spot. And honestly, that's all the photos they have, 20 pictures. That really shocks me. They must get a lot of their bookings from another channel or something like that. Because it really surprises me, honestly, that this place, it's a gorgeous place, and I can see why it would rent for as much as it does a night. But only having 32 reviews, and the fact that it's a not an incredible listing. It's not a mind-blowing listing. It's only got 20 photos for heck's sake. It does kind of shock me that it generates as much as it does. But AirDNA does tend to be very accurate. Yeah, this is. Oh my goodness, this is another insane one. So this is the second best performing property on the market. Nice hot tub. Imagine going into the hot tub and having that as your view. Just incredible. Yeah, this place is stunning. I really, really like when they've got the full walls that kind of retract away. That would be wild in a storm, but very, very, very cool. Yeah, you got your outdoor shower. That's really cool. Yeah, the whole place is a little bit dated inside, to be honest. Not crazy. Oh yeah, it's right on a vacation or on a golf course, so that makes a lot of sense. Four Seasons Resort right down the road. You're on the ocean, right on a beautiful golf course. Like, yeah, that's pretty stunning. Oh wow, and you get access to the Four Seasons. It looks like you can access their amenities. Yeah, and the neighbor's pool and hot tub. Yeah, that's pretty wicked. Wow. Okay. So now we've got a good idea of what some of these properties can actually generate. I want to check out this one. I can't. I can't skip this one. This view is just insane. Just imagine. Oh, yeah. I want to go here. I want to go to this spot. Oh, this is just beautiful. Inside, it's gorgeous. They've got like top of the line appliances. Just absolutely insane. Yeah, and that view, like that's what that I would pay just for that view, just to hang out on that living area out there. This place is amazing. So this is what some of the top properties will do, right? Like these will pull almost $1 million a year. That's crazy, absolutely insane. But what about a more normal property? So like I went and I looked on the market right now, and I saw that there's quite a few properties in this same area, and one of them is this one right here. It's a three bedroom, three bathroom, 1,500 square feet. So pretty darn small. It is a like condo unit, and it's going for $950,000. So just shy of $1 million. So that should give you an idea of what those properties we were just looking at probably go for. Quite a lot of money. But yeah, so this is a property. It's three bedroom, three bath. I want to go through and analyze it and see how much it would generate, because it's going for $949,000 to purchase it, and then you've also got HOA fees of $1,047, which is insane to me to pay $1,000 in HOA fees per month for a building built in 1979. Like that's crazy. Yeah, $620 price per square foot. Like this is wild. The thing that's cool about this one though, the reason I picked it is because it was previously a short-term vacation rental with high demand. So that tells me that it's probably possible to license this thing again as a vacation rental, which I know that in Hawaii there's a lot of licensing requirements, and so I'd be hesitant to dive right into one right off the bat if I hadn't already researched the regulations. So I haven't researched the regulations for this. I wouldn't obviously put an offer in on a property like this without doing my due diligence first. But this is just, I wanted to get one that was likely going to be licensable just so that we could look at something that would potentially be a short-term rental. So let's go over here, and I've got an analysis spreadsheet set up for it. Let's just go and punch in some numbers here so that we can see how much this property would actually generate from an ROI perspective. Because if you're paying almost $1 million for the property, and then you're paying $1,000 a month in HOA dues, as well as all your other operating and carrying expenses, it's going to be pretty pricey. You're going to want to make sure you can actually get an ROI. And my suspicion is that you probably couldn't get a very good return on this property. Your returns would probably be muted just because typically in a given area, if it's really, really well established for vacation rentals, that makes it more stable. And typically people are willing to pay a premium for that stability. So you end up getting lower returns because you have lower risk. So I find that markets like Hawaii and Florida, especially like right around Disneyland, the returns just don't tend to be quite as good because other people are buying them as short-term rentals, and because of the decrease in risk, they're willing to pay a bit more of a premium for it because they're not, it's already an established vacation rental market, so there's a lot less risk of like changes in regulation, things like that. So let's say that we were going to do like two of the bedrooms as queen bedrooms and one with two twins, so we could accommodate families nicely. One living room, one dining room, one kitchen. Let's see how many bathrooms it was. Three bathrooms. Okay. And then miscellaneous. Yeah. Hot tub and sauna. It's a condo, so we wouldn't do anything like that. So pretty inexpensive to furnish it. We can furnish it for about $11,000. Rehab work, I'm going to assume nothing because it's a condo. It looks to be in good shape. It doesn't look like there's anything major that would need to be redone. It's, it's not the most modern thing ever, but like it's certainly not bad. It's not terrible. Yeah, I'm going to leave it at 0. Obviously, you want to get an inspection. Even with it being a condo, I like to get an inspection, call me crazy just to be on the safe side. But yeah, I mean, honestly, it looks pretty straightforward, pretty nice. So land transfer tax, you're not going to be dealing with. Interior design and photography, I would say, yeah, you're going to want to budget for it because like you want to make this place stand out. And then let's see, we're going to skip over our revenue numbers for right now, and we're going to skip down to here, do a 20% down payment on the property. Let's say a 6.5% interest rate on the mortgage, depending on your ability to like what your lender would give you. You might want to adjust that, but let's say 6.5% to be kind of average. Now, the thing is, I don't know what cleaning fees in the area would go for. So if I were really seriously looking into this place, I would want to actually call some cleaning companies in the area. I'm going to assume they'd be pretty expensive. I'm going to assume that cleaning fees would be pretty expensive and it'd be relatively hard to find help because you're on an island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Like I couldn't imagine it being super competitive and the rates being low like they would be in mainland. So I'm gonna assume that probably for this one you're gonna be about $200 per clean. It might even be more than that, but let's just say for this 200, and let's say that your average length of stay is maybe 4 or 5 nights. So for a rented week, you're probably going to be about like, let's say $200 per clean, and then like 1.5 cleans per rented week. So if it's rented for 7 days, some weeks you're going to have 1 clean, other weeks you're going to have 2. Let's just say what $300 per rented week for cleaning. Then you're going to want to do your advertising and tech costs. That's just going to be for your like management stuff, $500 a year. Yard and snow you're not going to have, which is nice because it's a condo. But you are going to get to pay that nice HOA due of $1,047 per month. So that's going to, you do save a nice $1,200 a year on not having to do yard and snow, but you pay $12,000 a year for your HOA dues, so that's not as nice. So $1,047 there. Let's put that in. So equals 1047 times 12. That's $12,500 in HOA dues. Now, you could definitely get away with having a bit smaller of a maintenance reserve, given that it's a condo, but I'm going to leave that as is because you'll still want to have some money set aside, a good amount of money set aside for just anything inside the unit that's wearable, stuff like that. But you may decide to lower that because it's a condo, and in theory, a lot of these expenses are going to be covered by the HOA dues. Let's see here. Let's go back up and go into electricity, water and sewer, cable, internet. Let's see what we've got here. So it looks like, yeah, monthly association fees cover insurance and maintenance of the buildings. That's wild. So it comes with insurance. That's actually pretty good. Maintenance of the grounds. I wonder if that comes. I don't think that would come with short-term rental insurance. I could be wrong there. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I've never really seen insurance be included in HOA dues. So I'm going to assume, and I could be wrong on this, but I'm going to assume that your insurance is still going to be an extra $3,000 a year. But that could actually be pretty reasonable if it's included there. That would make, more reasonable. You're still paying $12,000 a month in HOA, or a year in HOA dues. So. Yeah, and then HOA fees. They've got it separated out here as well. Home insurance, property taxes, $218 a month. So let's plug that in. Property taxes equals 218 times 12. Again, you'd want to just double check that with the listing agent before you like during your due diligence period before you actually submit a firm offer. Let's see here. Yeah. Okay. And then does it mention anywhere like what the typical electricity bill is going to be? I don't think so. So that's something you'd want to double check on as well, just to get a feel for it, what it typically runs from on the property from the seller. I'm going to put in the like cable internet, probably going to be about $100 a month. So let's say $1,200 a year. And then for electricity, you're probably going to be maybe about, I don't know, $2,400 a year, maybe about $200 a month. That could be off. And then I'm gonna leave that all as is. Yeah, so that's probably a good idea. Again, I would get a lot of this stuff, a more firm idea of this from the listing agent, going in, digging in, getting real numbers. But this is what I would do when I'm just initially interested, wanting to see what the rough numbers come out to. And so you can see here, so like that's basically all of our rough numbers except for the revenue. And so now what's interesting here is like usually these numbers right off the bat, because I just like the default number in here is 100,000. And usually that means that these numbers come up, quite inflated because we haven't even looked at this yet. We haven't looked at the number, but it's crazy to think that you could buy this property, have it bring in $100,000 a year, and you'd be basically breaking even. Like that's wild. And I don't know that this property will actually bring in 100K a year. So it's going to be really, really interesting to see. Guys, just want to take a quick break here to say that for those of you watching who want to build cash flow and long-term wealth by purchasing Airbnbs and short-term rental properties, there's a link in the description right down below for a free training that'll walk you through my exact strategy for investing successfully in Airbnbs. Now, if you're not ready to actually buy properties and you want to get started managing other people's properties on Airbnb, the same way I got started, and build a full-time income managing other people's properties, there's actually another free training linked in the description down below as well that'll be a really great fit for you. So whether you want to invest in short-term rental properties and actually build amazing cash flow and long-term wealth by acquiring the assets, buying the properties themselves, or you're looking to earn a full-time income managing other people's properties on Airbnb, we've got some awesome trainings that are linked in the description down below that'll definitely help you out. When you sign up for the trainings, we're also going to send you a few other tools and resources completely for free just to help you get started. Again, the links to sign up are in the description down below, and both trainings and all of the tools are completely free. So make sure to register for the trainings, links in the description down below. So let's go into Airbnb here, or AirDNA, sorry, here, and let's go and look at revenue data. And I'm going to look at I want to look at, 3-bedroom properties. And I want to find specifically ones that are going to accommodate, 6 to 8 people. Oof, 8 people in this place will be cramped. I'm going to say 6 to 8. I'm going to say 4 to 8 actually, because like realistically, 8 is kind of pushing it for a condo. I would say I wouldn't go much more than 6 probably, even though it's got 3 bathrooms. Like, and I want to see as well, are the bathrooms full bathrooms as well? There's one full bathroom. Let's see, does it have a second full bathroom? Oh man, we don't even know. So like the other 2 bathrooms could be powder rooms. And if they are, then okay, no, here's another one that, this one has laundry in it, but it doesn't have a shower. Oy. Yeah, so I'm actually going to assume that it doesn't have another full bathroom, meaning that I would actually max it at 6. So let's do that, 4 to 6 people. So there's 223 of them that are active. And let's go ahead and download the Excel for that. And let's look at the revenue numbers here and see how much it would shake out to. And now, mind you, this is taking into account all the 3 bedrooms. So it's not all necessarily just going to be condos. So we have to be mindful of that. Now, what I like to do when I run analysis is I like to look at the different trends. So I'm going to look at 75th percentile to start with, or let's do 50th and 75th. So let's look at 50th percentile. Let's look at 75th percentile. And then let's grab our numbers from 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, and then 2021 pace. And I'll talk about more about that, what that is in a minute, and 2022 pace. And so what we want to do here is basically, it's real simple. We just want to sum up the 2018 numbers for 50th percentile. So you can see in this column, we've got 50th percentile numbers. In this column, we've got 75th. We've also got 25th and 90th. So what this means is the top 50% of listings that meet our criteria, meaning they're 3-bedroom properties in that area that accommodate 4 to 6 people, The top 50% of them are going to be average out to these numbers. The top 25% are going to average out to these numbers. The top 10% are going to average out to these numbers. So you'll see that they get better and better as you go up the list. So I want to start at 50th. That's what I like to use for my conservative numbers typically. And so in 2018, that was basically all of these numbers here. And then in 2019, it was from January until December there. And then in 2020, it'll be really interesting to see what happened here in Hawaii during 2020, because I would suspect that it being mostly international people coming in, or most people like flying in, that it would drop down. Yeah. So you can see that it's one of those markets that got hit with the pandemic and everything, where it did actually drop. And then 50th percentile for 2021, I would assume is going to be low again. Wow. So 2021, it actually jumped up massively. So I would imagine that's people that that weren't able to travel internationally. And so they traveled domestic, but they hopped on a flight to do it, which is interesting. I wouldn't have thought that many people would have been hopping on flights, but I guess if it's a domestic flight, there's not really much better place to go than Hawaii. So that does make sense. And so in 2022, I bet they're just absolutely exploding. So what I like to do here as well is I want to just look at, and these are these are then the 75th percentile numbers. But now I want to see, so we've got data right through November 2022. So I want to take the data from 2021 through November. And then I also want to take the data from 2022 through November so that we can see how 2022 is shaping up compared to 2021. So you can see, oh, wow, it is doing way better in 2022 already. That's crazy. Yeah, now let's put these into datas. Okay, so we're already seeing a jump right now of, let's do this divided by this. That's a 33% jump. So it's basically 134% of last year. So we can assume that 2022 assumption would basically be equal to 2021 times 134%. And then we can just do this as well, equals this times this. So holy smokes. So basically what this is looking like is that these properties, these 3-bedroom properties, are pacing right now, 75th percentile is pacing in 2022 to do $174,000 in revenue. That is mind-blowing. So you can see, like, basically these properties in this area, the 3-bedroom properties that accommodate 4 to 6 people for 2022, they're right now pacing to hit $174,000, the average property. So the average of them in the 75th percentile is going to hit $174,000 in bookings in 2022. That's crazy. I have not seen a single other market in all the analyses that I've done that has a massive jump in 2022 like this one. I have to assume the only thing I can think of that would be causing this is that so many people are doing destination weddings in Hawaii. And I know there's a huge backlog of people wanting to get married that are now getting married in 2022. Maybe that has something to do with it, because I know Hawaii would obviously be a really big wedding destination. Maybe it's just like travel opening back up. Like that doesn't make a ton of sense to me, to be honest. But especially this massive jump. Like we're looking at almost double. Like that's a 75% gain over just a few years ago. And it's a 34% jump from last year. So just compared to 2021, it's doing 34% better than it was. That's crazy. And that's a decent number of listings too. Like there's 223 active listings in that data set. So it's not like a really small data set that's getting skewed by a few outliers. Like those are just crazy numbers that they're pulling. And so if we were to operate under this as the assumption, then we do $174,000 and we plug that in here. And we say, okay, it's going to do $174,000 in revenue. And then let's just see what the occupancy would be. Occupancy, yeah, 100% basically. So Yeah, I mean we can specify here 3 bedroom properties that accommodate 4 to 6 people, but I assume we're pretty much just going to be I assume we're pretty much just going to be at 100%. Basically, yeah. Let's just put in 100% just to keep the numbers relatively conservative. Not because 100% is a conservative number, because with this spreadsheet, the higher the occupancy is, the higher the cleaning fees are going to be. That's how it factors in. So you're actually keeping your overall projections more conservative if you keep your occupancy rate projected higher rather than lower. And so you can see that when it pulls those numbers, the property will do insane. It'll do 34% cash on cash return. That's awesome. But the question is, will it actually do those numbers? I would never project based on that, just given that it's such a huge anomaly of a year for it. I would be looking at, like, does it do well at 130,000? This would be like the absolute best case scenario, but I would look at this more as my moderate scenario. It would be like right around, honestly, right around 100. I even think 130 is a bit aggressive because you can see it's a really stable market. Like year to year, even with COVID, it didn't really change too much at the 75th percentile. It jumped around a bit more at the 50th percentile mark, but you're basically at $100,000 is what you're doing. And so if you see here, like in a moderate scenario at 100, let's say 130,000. Then you're looking at more like a 14% cash on cash return. So that's not bad considering it's a really stable market. Considering that, like, you know, it's a premium market. I wouldn't be too upset about getting slightly below 15%. Normally 15% cash on cash is my bare minimum that I would accept on a deal. But for something like this, I'd probably take it. However, 130 I don't think is by any stretch the worst case scenario. 130 is still a relatively aggressive good scenario, because if you look here, like, I think we're really probably going to be closer to 100K once things kind of stabilize more. Now that could be me being overly conservative, but that at 100K, like, you're breaking even. And so certainly if you were any worse than the 75th percentile, you'd be losing money, right? Because, like, even this year, like, even with it being an anomaly year at 98K, you're going to be losing money, right? Like, if this thing brings in $98,000, which is the 50th percentile data for this year, you're losing money. And that's an anomaly year. If you're down at $73,000 like it was last year, which I still think is an aggressive worst case scenario. I think the worst case scenario really is closer to about 60. But if you're even at $73,000, then that, as a worst case scenario, not acceptable. You'd literally be negative $25,000 a year. That's a lot to have to float every year, just for something that should be making you money. So based on these numbers, I don't like it at all. Yeah, I wouldn't be into this property specifically. It's really interesting. I don't know. I hope you got value. Let me know. Like, let me know in the comment section if you thought this was interesting to know, because I just wanted to run an analysis like this. Now, we could dive in deeper as well and look at, okay, you know, what kind of properties are actually pulling those numbers? Like, if we look at 3 bedroom properties here, let's do it. Let's just jump right in and see, okay, if we look at the 3 bedrooms, let's zoom in a bit more here. Well, how many of them are similar condos that are actually bringing the numbers that we're bringing in, or that we're projecting bringing in? Like, if we're figuring we're going to bring in about, if we're figuring around $100,000, let's find some properties. So here's one, right? This is a beach house, oceanfront. It was available 325 days last year, 3 bedroom, 3 bath. This one accommodates 10 people, but it brought in $120,000. So this is that $120,000 mark. That's over the last year, which we saw did really, really well. And let's see how this property compares to the one that we're looking at. Way bigger, way nicer, right? So, like, yeah, it's, you know, I would change up a few things decor wise, but, like, way, way bigger property. And it looks like, yeah, this is a standalone property, not a condo. So when you start actually digging into the real comps for the property, you start to discover stuff like that. Here's another, here's a 3 bedroom, 3 bathroom condo, or 3 bedroom, 2.5 bathroom condo. It brought in $82,000 over the last year. And it was available 203 days of the year. So I don't love that one, just because it's not available enough for us to really draw conclusions, because at 203 days, we don't know how it would have done over the remaining days. Here's one, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, accommodates 6 people. It was available 317 days last year, over the last year, and it brought in $91,000 in revenue. Oof. So this is and again, this is a full home, right? This isn't a condo, much bigger, much more spacious. So the prospect of this one doing 175,000, like this property that we're looking at doing 175,000 is, not looking really good. It looks more like it'll do right around here, and there you're going to be losing a lot of money. So pretty cool. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you like this video, if you enjoyed it, if you got value from it, then drop a like on the video. It does help me out tremendously with growing the channel. For me, I found this really fascinating. It still blows my mind that some properties are able to bring in $1 million a year on Airbnb. It's so crazy to think that, and really interesting. I've been meaning to review some properties in Hawaii. If you have a property in Hawaii, let me know in the comment section down below as well. If you have a vacation rental in Hawaii, I'd love to know how it does, if it actually gets ROI. If you have experience in the Hawaii market, I'm just very curious about it. So I'd love to know what kind of returns people typically get. This was obviously just one property at random that we picked, but I'd love to know how people are actually performing out there. So anyways, thanks so much for checking out the video. If you liked it, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with the 2 new videos we post every single week. And with all that said, thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.